Hello everyone, I'm Samarjeet Singh Kheda from Acropolis Indore, and today I'm gonna tell you about software modeling and UML. So, what is software modeling? Well friends, I'm sure you are aware of the saying a picture is worth more than 1,000 words. Well, when it's come to the domain of software engineering, no two words fit to that description as aptly as software modeling. So, what is software modeling? Well, software modeling can be described as a way to express software design. Usually, some sort of abstract language or pictures are used to express a software design. The software model depicts all aspects of a software system. Now, what is its purpose? Why do we make a software model? Well, we make software model to enhance the understanding, communication, and documentation of software development projects. It helps not only in increasing the understanding among the developers who are working on the project, but also among the non-programming people who could be the in charge or somehow related to the project. So, what are the benefits of software modeling? Well, the first and the most important benefit of software modeling is visualization. A software modeling provides a graphical or a pictorial representation of a software. So it can be easily understood by anyone from any team. Thus, it also helps in communication. Due to the visualization and graphical aspect of a software modeling system, it can be used to effectively communicate among various team members or between developers and stakeholders. It makes the entire pipeline and the process of communication very smooth, and thus it also saves a lot of money and resources. Now, another advantage of software modeling is analysis and design. Since a software model is made before the implementation of software, thus the analysis of all the gathered requirements is done prior to it. And also the so by we are gathering the requirements and making a software model, a lot of potential issues can be identified very early on, which can save a lot of time and money later. Now, moving on to the next slide. So, the next topic is Unified Modeling Language, or as we like to call it, UML. So, a UML is a general purpose modeling language which provides a standard way to visualize the system. Now, it is used for visualizing, specifying, and constructing and documenting of software systems. A UML, a UML can be said to be a universal language which can be understood by all. Now, there are mainly five types of diagrams in UML. The first one is a class diagram. Now, the class diagram is the most important diagram in UML. It is used to depict the structure of a software system. It includes the classes, their attributes, and various relationships and associations between them. Now, the second diagram is a use case diagram. A use case diagram is used to depict the functionality of the system and how a user interacts with the system. It is made on the basis of the requirements gathered. Now the next one is a sequence diagram. Now the sequence diagram is used to show the kind of the flow of interaction between various objects in a system. Since we know that in a complex software system there could be a many moving parts, so in order to depict the in order to depict how they interact with each other, a sequence diagram can be made. Now, the next one is the activity diagram. Now, the activity diagram is used to represent the workflow of the entire system as a whole. It is different from a sequence diagram because it represents the whole system as opposed to the single object's interactions. Now the next one is a state machine diagram. The state machine diagram is an optional diagram, but it can all be used to improve the understanding in a UML. Now state machine diagram, what it does is it represents the behavior of individual components on the basis of the machine state. Now moving on to the next slide, we have the benefits of UML. Now many of the benefits of UML could be are same as the benefits of a software modeling as we discussed previously. Now, the first benefit of UML is standardized language. Since UML has a standardized language, it can be used to ensure that there is clarity and consistency across the board between all the teams. And the next one is it gives us a visual representation of the entire model, and it helps in representing the complex systems and breaking down into easily digestible chunks. Now the next one is a design validation. Since UML is made way before the implementation, thus it can be used by by programmers to validate their design from the non-programmer higher ups. Now the next one is documentation. A UML diagram can be used as a documentation, and it can aid in the maintenance, testing, reusability, and knowledge transfer between various teams. Now, moving on to the types of UML diagrams. Now, mainly there are two types of UML diagrams. The first one is Now, the first one is structural UML diagram. Now, the structural UML diagram represents the static aspects or the structure of a system. Its examples include class diagram, package diagram, and object diagram. Whereas, on the other hand, a behavioral diagram includes all the dynamic aspects of a system or how the system behaves. It includes the activity diagram, sequence diagram, use case diagram, and state diagram. Now, here you can look at the types of various diagrams in UML. Now moving on to the last topic, software modeling process using UML. Now UML has been proven to be a major boon in the software modeling process. Now the first step of a software modeling process is always understanding and gathering all the requirements. It is in this process it is made sure that all the requirements are gathered in a systematic way and there is no ambiguity left between the developer and the customer. Now the next is to make a use case diagram. Now as we discussed, a use case diagram is used to make the functionality of a system based upon the requirements gathered. Now the next one is to develop a class diagram. Now the class diagram is used to depict all the different classes, the chunks of code, and the relationships between them. Now the next one is a sequence diagram, which is used to describe the how various objects and all the moving parts in a big complex software interact with each other. And the last one is an activity diagram. Now the activity diagram is used to represent how our system works and how it establish a general workflow. Now besides these four UML diagrams, we can also use some optional UML diagrams like state machine diagram, component diagram, and many others. Now, after all the diagrams are made, the most important process of software modeling comes in hand. That is validate and refine. Now, in this process, all the above diagrams are reviewed, and if there is any mistakes in them, then they are went back and refine all the models to ensure that they are accurate and complete. Now that's it for today. Thank you for watching.